Yes, y'all. Welcome to episode 78 of On the Mark
Nice.
Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy Kyote. You know what time it is. It's about that time. It's On the Mark Wrestling Podcast coming with you to another episode, joined by the fellas, Joel, Lewis. What's going on, baby? What's going on?
What up? We are in, what is this, week 2.5 of the new year?
Yeah, man.
And it already feels like the end of the month with all this
Yeah.
news.
It definitely does. Joel, what's happening, bro?
Yeah, man. What's good, everybody? Thank you all for all the likes and subscribes that we've been seeing on YouTube, IG, popping. Really appreciate all the fans out there.
Yeah, man. Let's give it up.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to all of the social media supporters because we have officially reached over 500 followers on Instagram.
Yes,
so that's
sir.
A big deal. Now, I gotta add, our TikTok presence has increased tremendously, but we are being threatened by a potential shutdown.
Yeah.
On the verge.
Ain't that some all that work and content we're putting on there there's a good chance all that's going bye-bye by Sunday. Good poop, like just gone. No more.
Yikes.
No more.
At least we got IG and YouTube, right?
What's another Chinese illegal app that we can get on?
I don't even want to know.
Well, listen, y'all. It was a decent week in wrestling, man. Like The Rock said, wrestling is cool again. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's big moves happening. Storylines progressing. WWE is getting ready to probably produce the biggest Rumble in history in terms of star power. Everybody's getting in the Rumble. So Lewis, you want to let's get into a little what we got. Wait, hold on. I want to find my right page here. Let's see. I want to get into a little bit of your administrator's report, my friend. Let's get into that.
Woohoo! All right. So here is the administrator's report.
Yes, sir.
I got to come up with a consistent voice for it. But in any case, this is the administrator's report. This one is going to be dedicated to the Royal Rumble. Some stats, and I'm going to pose a question. So January 23rd of this month, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but January 23rd marks the 25th anniversary of Royal Rumble 2000.
Wow. Damn.
Royal Rumble 2000 is, the general consensus is that it's one of the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view events overall that WWE has ever produced. This emanated live from Madison Square Garden, hot crowd. This is during the Attitude Era. It featured a tremendous card. We got to see the Hardys take on the Dudleys in the first ever tag team table match.
Yeah,
that's the classic spot where Jeff Hardy jumps off of the Swanton bomb off the balcony with the taxi.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got to see some of some exciting things like Taz's debut. His surprise debut, I might add. It wasn't that much of a surprise to the smart fans, but think about it. This is during a time where people had limited access to dirt sheets and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was, it was a great debut. It was as impressive of a debut for someone who didn't come through the WWF developmental system at the time.
Yeah, man.
We got to see Mae Young's tits. I don't know how appealing that is. We got to see some biddies.
Shout out to Mae. God bless Mae Young, man. She was down. She was down for whatever. She was like, sign, put me in, coach. That's how she was. She was great.
Yeah, we got a solid Royal Rumble match itself. That's the one where The Rock went over, but the controversy in storyline, of course, was that his feet had touched the floor first before Big Show's, and that led to their program. The true highlight of this event was Triple H versus Cactus Jack, a street fight for the WWE Championship classic, bona fide classic. And the feedback that we've gotten ever since I posted that little photo on our IG story was the folks said the same thing, that Triple H versus Cactus Jack is one of their favorite all-time WWF title matches. It was a match that really solidified Triple H as a bona fide main eventer. It's terrific. That it was just a terrific match. If you have not gotten a chance to ever watch this match, make the time to sit down and watch it. Royal Rumble 2000, Cactus Jack, Triple H. You will not regret it. Yeah. But that's my little homage to Royal Rumble 2000. My personal favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-view event overall. Now, let's talk about a little funny stat. How many times do y'all think the WWE / World Heavyweight Championship changed hands on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view? Take a guess. In the last 25 years.
How many times?
Since 2000.
Since 2000, did it change hands?
Yes.
On the pay-per-view. And this, oh, man.
I could only think of one, which is crazy. It must be more than one, but I can only think of The Rock beating CM Punk.
Okay. That's one of them. That's one of them.
You know, my memory is real tough with this. I'm gonna have to do a Hail Mary here and kind of give a guess. I'm gonna say like 3.
Okay.
I'll go 5.
All right. Now we're getting closer. So here's the data, folks. The administrator's delivering a nice stat. In the past 25 years, the WWE or World Heavyweight title on the pay-per-view event of the Royal Rumble card since 2000 has only changed hands 6 times.
Wow. Damn.
6 times. 2006, 2009, 2013, 2016, 2017, and most recently 2022. So my question that I'm posing is, what is the likelihood of a world title change this year for Royal Rumble 2025? Are we getting a title change, or is the stat going to remain rare, if you will?
Yo, I don't think it's changing hands, man. I can't see a scenario where Cody or Gunther loses. Definitely not Cody. Cody's not dropping the title, and we're talking like just men here, right? Like we're not talking the women's title or anything. Like we're just talking
not the
women's, just men's heavyweight championship. Cody champion, Gunther champion. Yeah, they ain't dropping that. That's my. It's not the time. Cody's holding that belt for another while. He's not even. I personally don't think he's dropping even at Mania. Yeah, that's why that's a hot take. I don't think he's dropping at Mania either. And Gunther, maybe at Mania, but not at Royal Rumble. Not Rumble. Yeah, I think there's some stuff happening.
I mean, so far we know Cody and KO are having the ladder match at Rumble.
Yeah.
I don't see KO winning that. As much as I would love to see KO winning that, it's just too close to Mania to give. Like Cody's been holding it down this whole time. Is not the most like fun title reign in my opinion.
Nah.
But there's definitely telling a story there. And I think for them to go this close to the finish line and then be like, nah, let's give it to KO, it doesn't really make sense for Mania plans, in my opinion.
Nah, yeah. It doesn't.
But Gunther, I could see it happening. We don't know who his opponent will be if he has a title match. We know he's facing Jey Uso at Saturday Night Main Event, I believe. So I don't know if he's going to have another title match so soon after. But if he does, that could be part of the storyline. Like maybe, you know, he's beaten up from defending his title too often, too soon. And then we could see like a fluke win maybe. You never know. I could see Gunther more than Cody for sure.
But could you see Gunther this soon in terms of like his like a Jey Uso being that guy?
As much as it pains me, I think it might be. You know, I'm one of the biggest Jey Uso haters out there. I'm one of the biggest Jey Uso haters out there. But he did have a nice showing this Monday Night Raw. He actually broke out of the Yeet character for a second and showed some actual acting chops, which I think is what got him to where he is in the first place. So
Yep.
that was nice to see. So I mean, if anything, this is the time to strike while the iron's hot. I don't know if it'll happen at the Rumble though.
Do you think someone was in his ear and was like, "Yo, let's tone down the yeet and let's go for like a more serious main, like if you're a main event Jey Uso, I want to see something more main event and not something placating to a crowd." Like, do you think it was anything like that, or do you think it was just he just happened not to be so into the yeet for that moment?
I think it has to do a little bit with the storytelling of it all, right? Like
Okay.
he has kind of been put into that main event Jey Uso persona, but like Gunther said, your main event is just by name, right? You don't actually main event. And I think that was a great character development, like
100%.
trigger for him right there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you want to trigger me into saying like I could be the main event, I could win this. So like, if anything, this is the perfect moment to strike while it's hot. I just don't see it happening just because Mania is right around the corner. And like, do you give up all your plans?
Right.
Then who do you have Jey Uso fate at Mania? Like Jey Uso versus whoever wins the Rumble. That's not really a good match in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll see what happens. But I could definitely, that was the first time that I saw Jey Uso and I was like, all right, I could see him winning the title one day.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
This is what I think. If the world title or WWE Universal Heavyweight, whatever they call that shit these days, if any one of those titles is going to change, it's not going to be Cody's. I think Cody's definitely going to retain against KO in the ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
But this is how I think the Gunther thing is going to unfold. Saturday night's main event is either going to end in a no contest or it's going to be a screwy finish. And Jey Uso is going to get a rematch granted. Mm-hmm. So I do think that we'll see Gunther versus Jey Uso on the card. And there is there is a big chance that Jey Uso might win the world title at the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
I'm agreeing with Joe here. This is a situation where you may have to strike while the iron is hot with Jey Uso. He's selling the merch. He's super over. Gunther's world title reign has left much to be desired. I think they kind of dropped the ball with his title reign overall. So maybe it's just time to freshen that world title scene up a little bit. So I think there's a possibility. I think there's a strong possibility that we see a world title change.
Man, I didn't. Now that you put it that way, Lou, I didn't even. It's a good chance that they are setting up for it to be Jey. Now, do you think they're doing it to be Jey because he'd be better to drop a title to someone like a Punk or I don't know, like a Drew, or like they rather him take the L rather than a Gunther? Like they want to preserve that I don't know, that aura about him, or because I think, everyone's talking about how do we get to Mania? Like who's going to face who? We know Cody's already going to be locked into someone. Who's going to be holding the title come Mania with Gunther's championship? And I think that's a good. It probably is a good chance that Jey gets it and maybe drops it at Mania. I don't know.
Damn. Now you got the wheels turning, and I can't believe I'm about to say this because I'm the number one. I'm the number one Jey Uso hater. Anyone knows I'm a big Jey Uso hater. But if Jey Uso wins the title and Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, we off to the races. Because he could either be like, I want Cody, let's get that trilogy, or I want you, Jey. And then we go right back to how the whole bloodline story started, which was Jey and Roman, and how everyone always thought Jey should get that win over Roman eventually. And if we get Jey versus Roman on a big stage Mania, it's not a match for me, but I could see that being a marquee match for the fans that love the bloodline stuff.
Damn. I could see that. About that. Yeah, I could see that.
But that's a crazy. Imagine Jey Uso is main eventing WrestleMania. I'm like, what?
Never in a million years.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't see Jey. I don't see Jey main eventing.
Me neither. But somehow we talked all of us into it.
Right?
Yeah, you're like I don't see it, but
But look, the purpose of me even posing that question, as it relates to the Royal Rumble pay per view or PLEs, is it's very rare. Like with
Yeah.
that stat in the last 2.5 decades, only a handful of times it's changed hands. It's very rare because WWE has conditioned us into believing that the world champion entering the Royal Rumble is most likely going to be the one main eventing
right.
WrestleMania or
Yeah.
headlining Mania in some capacity. So why would they drop the title right before? So, unless they swerve us a bit and they alter the plans, that's pretty much how it's been generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, fellas, damn, that's gonna listen. Well, this is gonna be interesting to check out because or anticipate because honestly, I can't tell you where they're going with anything like in terms of
Yeah.
booking some sort of having an idea of the booking for Mania, what they're even going to do at Rumble. I have no idea because to me, The Rock still looms. He's still lingering somewhere. Homeboy ain't done. This
Yeah.
is not the way he came in, and this is not the way he. This is definitely not the way he's going out. So he's going to be somewhere in that championship circle amongst Cody, Roman. He's going to be there somewhere. I just don't. I can't. I don't know yet. But The Rock definitely. He's going to be in it somehow. I think he's going to be somewhere. But we shall see. But today, y'all, listen. Some big news came out. WWE and TNA have joined forces. The mega powers. Wrestling announced a multi-year partnership, you fellas. So TNA ain't going nowhere. And on this past NXT episode, we saw the women's champion. I forget her name.
Masha Slamovich.
Yes, Masha. Yeah, is this Masha Slamovich?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
Slam a bitch.
Slam a bitch. Slam a bitch. Yeah, I like it. That's such a gimmicky name. I love it.
It's a great name.
Great name. Great name. But yo, fellas, man, TNA ain't going nowhere. And I think this is a hell of a partnership. Especially if WWE if they uphold their end of the bargain by, putting some shine on some TNA stars. And not the opposite. But fellas, what do you think about this? We haven't seen Jordan Grace in a while also, which leads me to believe that she's probably coming sometime soon, maybe Rumble again. Maybe she's in the Rumble. But how do you guys feel about the partnership with TNA and WWE? I didn't think I would see a day where I would see the two logos next to each other, WWE and TNA wrestling. Like, I definitely didn't see that coming. What do you guys think?
This is historic on so many levels. 20 years ago, when TNA was getting hot and I was actually like really into it and watching it weekly, I would have never, if you would have said 20 years ago, at some point WWE and TNA would join forces and have a multi-year partnership.
Right.
I mean, I would have been like, I guess hell must have frozen over in the
Definitely
sometime in the 21st century. But this is good for the business overall. WWE has always had like this thing, right, under Vince McMahon's leadership where he's the only game in town. He doesn't want to acknowledge any other promotion. Nor does he care to team up with them. Yeah, very isolated. It's a perfect word. I mean, he had a little thing with ECW back in the 90s. Remember when they had like that mini invasion before the Monday Night? Well, it was like kind of during the Monday Night War, because Vince had always admired ECW, but that was it. WWE had never cared to partner with any other company. Meanwhile, throughout the last decade and a half, you've seen TNA with working partnerships with New Japan Pro Wrestling, AAA, CMLL, and AEW has done the same. It helps out everybody, and that's what I love about this partnership. We've been seeing it for the past year, little tidbits and whatnot of NXT and like the crossovers, little crossovers of NXT and TNA. But now this is like full on with everybody. So you'll see appearances from both promotions on PLEs, pay-per-view events, NXT tapings, TNA Impact tapings. Hell, you might see some TNA stuff show up on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
And it helps out everyone because the stars all get a rub from it. You know, they
Exactly.
get more exposure to a national TV audience. For the TNA folks, they'll get to work in front of bigger crowds.
Mhm.
And it's all about the eyes on the product, right? That's what you strive for. If I'm an aspiring pro wrestler, or if I am a pro wrestler and I'm an aspiring star, I want to be in front of as many eyes as possible. So this is great, man. This is it's a win for the industry.
Yeah, man. And who knows? This could get TNA a better TV deal. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
they, I don't know what channel they're on. They might be on like, I don't know, BET Plus. I don't know what they are. I don't know what deal they got. I can't find them. I don't know about you guys. I don't know where they are. They could Telemundo. I don't know.
BET
I don't know.
Plus. That's wild.
I don't know where they at. You tell me where they at. I don't know where they at.
I have no idea.
So
either.
the TV exposure is big for them because who knows?
Yeah.
Joel, what do you think, man?
Yeah, like everything Lewis said, this is historic. Like, same as Lou, I was watching TNA back in the day when AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels,
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, all those guys were there. And it was at one point it was the alternative for fans like myself who like the in-ring work and we're tired of the same Vince McMahon style of booking.
Right.
So it was the escape kind of during those days. So it's good that they lasted this long. Like that's the number one surprising thing. They lasted this long through so much hardship, so much different leadership. You had Hogan and Bischoff at one point.
Oh my God.
Dixie Carter. Like they've gone through so many eras. Jeff Jarrett, like all these eras, and now
Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah, they were Impact at one point. Now they finally got back to name. Like that's the coolest thing. Like you saying, like I would never think to see the logos together. It's so cool that they got back that logo, they got back that name before any of this happened. Because I think it just hits that much harder because you have that history of that. TNA is now like a known brand. For a long time, they were number 2, right, in the U.S. at least.
Yeah.
So to have, I guess what you would say, the number 3 promotion in the U.S. and the number 1 promotion working together, that's historical for sure. And it just goes to show how different Triple H's WWE is compared to Vince McMahon. So, like he's willing to work with multiple partners, willing to bring in people, even if they're not signed to the company. We saw Joe Hendry in NXT a couple months back. We saw Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So it's really cool. And you could see like the wrestlers themselves, like that's the coolest thing about this era of wrestling too. Like there's a lot of tribalism within the fans, but all the wrestlers for the most part you can see online, they all support each other.
Oh yeah.
They go to each other's shows. You see Bailey at a TNA show and Naomi was there, like things like that. So like just thinking about all those different like types of opportunities that are going to be opened up now. Like if we see Josh Alexander, for example, show up at the Rumble or something like that, like he might not be well known to casual fans, but you see him and he goes in, he starts suplexing folks. People are gonna be like, yo, who the hell is this guy? Where's he at? TNA? Let me go watch that show. And it just gets those eyes on that company. So it's really cool, man. And I hope we see it, like you said, I hope we see it on the main roster too. I hope it's not just an NXT thing. And I hope we see it vice versa. Like I would love to see AJ Styles get another TNA run. That'd be amazing,
Yeah.
Go back there, win the championship again or something. Like just give him that last hurrah in the place that he helped build. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
And now we got the Hardys in TNA. Maybe we see them come to WWE for a last run. Like, we just like trade. It's cool, man. Just trade. Like it feels like old school video game when you would create wrestlers that weren't in the game.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like that.
No, you're right, man. I mean, listen, there's so much to do with it. Like don't just, don't make this regular. This is not a regular thing. Like this is for WWE, this is huge. For TNA, even bigger. There's so when you were naming like Joe, when you were naming, all those names, I was thinking like ways you can incorporate and then throw in like an AJ Styles back there and doing some stuff with the young guys and
it was incredible, man.
The Rumble. Listen, I think we're going to see some names in the Rumble. I mean, that's like the perfect highlight for
Rumble's gonna
anybody.
be stacked, man.
Yeah, for anybody to come into the to come in and kind of make a name for themselves. especially on that type of rumble. I mean, this is going to be huge. Wait, this is not the 2-night one, right?
No.
No, that starts what is that, 2026?
Is that what they announced the 2-night rumble?
No, they haven't. No, that was just us. Like,
that was just us. We were. I think it was
Lewis.
we were booking it. Oh, okay, I got it.
I mean, it makes sense to have, especially with all the talent they have now, for sure.
Right? Yeah. Especially in like you said. I mean, they're doing the men and women, so you might. I mean, might as well throw in maybe
now,
2 nights.
Let me ask y'all a question. What does this do to AEW? Does this hurt them in any way? That the number 1 and number 3 promotion are working together?
Nah, I don't think.
I think AEW is on such an island by itself that
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They were on Shutter Island.
Like AEW is the new AEW is the new TNA, but with a much larger budget and far more resources. But that's what they are. They're like the new TNA. AEW is very niche, and I think I've come to accept that, and that's okay. That's fine. I don't expect it to get to WWE levels, but as long as they consistently deliver a solid product week in and week out, I'm fine with that.
You know what's crazy is that if we were we are talking about AEW right now in its purest form, AEW. If this was AEW 15 years ago, maybe 20, with no budget like they got right now, we would be saying WWE is probably teeing up to buy them. Like, we would be like, yo, WWE is going to they're going to buy them. Who thought that a wrestling company doing the numbers, the smaller venues, the not so exciting storylines, the booking of people who we see one week and then the story doesn't catch up again for another 3? Who would if we were talking about that with a company with no budget, this place would have been bought by that. Like, they would have been done.
Yeah.
But this company has endless resources, not only from TV deals and company and whatnot, but from the owner himself, who's got an endless amount of money.
That's what it is.
You know, they're cheating the Jacksonville Jaguars, for Christ's sake. My God, those poor fans. All the money is funneling to AEW. I mean,
all the free agents,
what's going on? Like, that's where everything's going. Like, who would have thought we would be talking about a company that is struggling to find a voice and a name for themselves, even 5 or 6 years in, actually still being around right now and still being the number 2. It's wild. It's wild. And that just shows you, like, the content people, these companies they just need stuff. They just need stuff. So they're going to pay whatever the premium is. They're going to pay for it. But shout out for TNA. Good for TNA, man. And WWE. I just hope it's meaningful on both sides. Yeah. That's what you know what I'm saying? Joel, do you have a haters club for us by any chance?
I do actually.
Oh man, well let's get to the hate.
And this one
I got the butterflies in my stomach.
This one is a mighty controversial too, I would say.
Oh man, wait, they're still doing
you're really
I don't think it'll be as controversial for us 3 here on the pod, because I have a feeling we might all feel the same.
Yeah.
But for the fans out there, Hater Club inductee of the week.
Oof.
Cody Rhodes.
Whoa! Wait a second.
What the hell? I wasn't expecting that.
The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes has become a nightmare every time I see him on television.
Wow.
Wow. This is why. And for those who don't know, the reason why I have the Hater Club is not because I hate. It's because I do hate, but I hate because I love.
Yeah.
So, wrestling is in its purest form. I love it. I always love everything. These people, these actors who are portraying these characters, I have all the love in the world for what they do. But I do hate when their character stops making sense. And I think that is where Cody Rhodes is at the moment. He has lost the plot completely. And maybe this is part of his story. Maybe this is his naiveness. He is becoming this goody two shoes guy who just helps any baby face that's in peril, even though they were a couple months ago beating the crap out of him. It doesn't matter anymore. No one apologized to him. He helps Roman Reigns right away. And Kevin Owens is right. He's right. He has a t-shirt that says Kevin was right. Kevin is right. And it makes all the sense. And I don't understand how we're supposed to cheer for this man. He teams with Roman Reigns. He teams with Jimmy Uso on this past SmackDown. He just runs up and saves him from the bloodline beef. I'm like, this isn't even your beef anymore, bro. Now you're the guy. You're the guy when like you and your brother or you and your sister are getting into an argument and some random dude comes in like, bro, you're not, and they start beating him up. Like that's what it seems like. Like you're not even part of this right now. Why are you getting involved right now? And I feel like he has completely lost the plot. He's especially the whole thing with The Rock, with him just completely being like, "Oh, Dwayne, you're hilarious. Let's take some tequila shots." Like he wasn't getting his own blood
by
his own bus. Yeah. He's now taking tequila shots. He didn't even take his own. He has his own liquor. He didn't take vodka shots. He took The Rock shots. Like that is some weak shit right there. At least if you're gonna do that, have The Rock promote your liquor. No, you promoting this guy's liquor. Now you're on Instagram Live taking shots with the same guy who was terrorizing you and your mother, your whole family. His whole family was terrorizing you for 3 years. You went to 2 WrestleManias. It took John Cena. It took The Undertaker. All these people to come out and save you. The end of WrestleMania 40, you get the big hurrah. You break all kayfabe. Triple H comes out. Bruce Pritchard comes out. Like you destroyed kayfabe completely, and then you continue to destroy kayfabe by laughing at The Rock's joke, being like, "Haha, Rock, you're so good. Let's take some tequila shots." He's lost the plot. He's lost me as a fan. I don't think I could even. I don't think he could regain me. And I think this title run, I'm hoping, is his one and only title run.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's
a lot of hate.
that hurts.
Wait.
That sounded like it came from your soul.
He's taken the number 1 spot from Jey Uso from me. I'm actually now a Jey Uso fan because Cody Rhodes sucks that much.
Damn.
I gotta say, man, I feel you on everything you just said.
You see?
You broke it down in a way where you had a brother thinking, and I was like, oh, you're right. The Rock basically bitched him out.
He's a bitch.
Drink my tequila. You know, hug it up.
Yeah. Tell Mama Rose I said what up.
I'm gonna still shout out your mama on national TV. Lewis's guy is a fiend. Lewis, your guy is a fiend. Your guy's
a beast.
Listen, he's a beast. He came out and made Cody look so small, made him look insignificant in terms of star power, in terms of stature, in terms of championship, machismo, like everything. Just made him look whack. And damn,
let's break down that segment for a second, real quick.
You're right.
The Rock says, I want to shout out someone who's been holding it down for the past year. And Cody Rhodes just magically happens to be at ringside, waiting for him like, me? Me, sir? Mr. Johnson, me? Just waiting.
Right.
There. No entrance music to your biggest star. The Rock totally bitched him out. That is some like politicking shit that The Rock did from like Attitude Era style shit, where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make this big star that you guys claim a big star. I'm gonna make him my bitch real quick. I mean, maybe it's all storyline purposes and it leads to Rock versus Cody one day. But right now, it seems like your world champion, your universal champion, whatever you want to call it, straight up a bitch.
Oh, man. Lewis, what you think, man? The Rock is your guy, man. What did Dwayne do Cody dirty? Like, are you where Lewis? Are you where Joel is at right now? Like, Cody can't get you back. Like, what's going on? What you think?
Look, I don't have that much hate in my blood for Cody. Joel he made his argument with so much vindication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, this is what I think. I don't want to hate Cody. I admire Cody. Yes, he's getting a little stale. Right. Whatever. But I'm not quite there yet to the point where I just want to see him go away or anything like that. I do feel that he looked very inferior to Dwayne. When they had that segment and then that backstage promo with the tequila. Yes, he definitely looked inferior. He didn't look like he was someone who was carrying the company as the world champion, as like The Rock mentioned.
Yeah, man.
I think it's time to pull the trigger on Cody and make him go ape shit Homelander heel. Like
Wow.
I think it's time for that. I don't think it's time for him to drop the title.
See,
But I
would
do
love that.
think
That's how you win me back, actually.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, if yeah, he can lose the title if it makes sense storyline wise, but yo, pull the trigger. I mean, I think you got enough top baby faces like CM Punk, Jey Uso who can sell merchandise and are over as top guys to where you can have Cody as the number one heel on a given brand.
Right.
And I think Cody heel would, heel Cody would be amazing. I think it would be super amazing, actually. And I keep saying Homelander, but it's because he's got the blonde hair, blue eyes.
I totally get what you're saying.
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
it's like the entire like what the fuck, man? Like he can literally be like WWE's version of Homelander. It would be incredible, you know. So
Damn.
I don't necessarily hate Cody, but I think it's time for a change. I think it's time for an adjustment. Joel's got his thumbs down. I think it's time for an adjustment.
An adjustment. But Lewis, honestly, that adjustment, I only want to see that adjustment if he's like you said, if he's Homelander, crazy psycho, and Cody could do it. Cody could do it. I have faith. Cody could do it.
It's actually funny that you say he needs an adjustment because I have a feeling he's going to be getting an attitude adjustment one of these days, and maybe that will be the trigger to make him Homelander.
So you mean an attitude adjustment from Cena, or like an actual attitude adjustment?
No, an attitude adjustment from Cena.
So totally you thinking Cena wins the title and Cody goes crazy?
I would love that because I think one of the big issues that I have with Cody, going back to my hater club, is that he's cosplaying as John Cena, and he's mentioned it on the show before. Another way that he broke kayfabe. He just loves breaking kayfabe, and he gets away with it all the time. But he literally he said it before on the show. I forgot, it might have been a SmackDown promo or something where he was like, I learned from John Cena what it takes to be this person, to be in here day in and day out and do all the shows and go to the talk shows and da da da. And it's like, bro, we get it. You want to be John Cena. You want to be John Cena so bad. And this is the same thing that happened in AEW, and the fans turned on him because of it. Right. He was trying to be this person that we all know you're not, bro. We all seen your heel run. We seen how good of a heel you are.
Like, it's true.
Do it. Stop trying to be Hulk Hogan. Stop trying to be John Cena. Be Cody Rhodes.
Damn.
All the greats have had at least one great heel run.
Yeah,
exactly.
I ain't mad.
Whether it was Rock,
except
for Cena, true. But Hogan, Rock, Triple H, Austin, they've all had at least one significant heel run. Taker.
I don't see Cody doing it, and he wouldn't do it in AEW.
Too, sadly,
he wouldn't do it in AEW. He was so close. I felt like AEW was like, "Yo," I think they were pleading with him, like, "Yo, come on, we got something. Just do it. Like, just give us a month. Like, do something." Like, they were there with him, and he just didn't want to do it. And I don't see how WWE is any different. I mean, he's dealing with H, and H can convince him, but I don't think Cody wants to be that. I think Cody wants to go down as his dad, the greatest, like one of the greatest baby faces of all time, and never turned and still got cheered and, still moving merch and kids still love him. Like, I think he wants to be that guy. I just don't think it's going to work. I think at some point, some crowds, the crowds are going to start being like, come on, man, and start there's going to be some booze mixed in. They're going to mix it in. I don't know. But yeah, we shall see, man. We shall see. But I want to balance this show out a little bit. I got to show. This is my segment, showing some love. I wanted to show some love specifically, and this segment is usually where I pick someone or a situation or something that happens in the wrestling world. I bring it to the light, and I show you people why we should be watching. And I was impressed by this man. I was impressed by your boy. Yeah, give it up. I was impressed by your boy Obafemi, the NXT World Champ, came out on TV this past Tuesday, delivered a hell of a promo, believable, the ruler, all that stuff. And I'm digging Oba. Oba's dope. Oba's dope.
He's good.
They're pushing the hell out of him. I'm feeling his trajectory. I think he's going to be on main roster watch very soon. Like,
For sure.
he already had North American Championship. He's already been beating the hell out of everybody on the roster. He's now got the NXT Championship. I think I see him on the main roster within the next 3 to 4 months. Like, there's nothing for him. There's nothing else for NXT for him to do after this. After he does a couple of title reign, like this title reign, and has some high profile matches. But Obafemi, this guy on NXT is dope. The stuff he's been doing, the promos he cuts, he's so believable that you gotta show him some love. I had to show him some love because Obafemi is the future of the heavyweight championship division on the main roster, not just NXT, but on the main roster. If he stays healthy, keeps getting the promo keeps perfecting the promo. I'm digging Oba. I think Oba's dope. How about you guys? What do you guys think?
I think he's good. I think he's very good, and I think the sky's the limit for Obafemi. He's gonna be a very big star if he stays the course, because, oh, good Lord, once he goes to that main roster, you put him next to guys like Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Cody, Damian Priest. Oh yeah, Obafemi is money. He really is.
Yep.
Yeah, I 100% agree, man. I've been watching not as much NXT as I could, but I catch clips here and there, and I usually catch the bigger shows. And he has always impressed me. He had that really good match earlier last year with Josh Briggs and Dijak, which I think ended up being the NXT match of the year, whatever they were giving out awards.
Yeah,
and I ended up catching that live when it was going on. It was a triple threat, and that was a really good match. And that's the first time that I was like, all right, this guy has the look, but he's actually getting in the ring now. And it's really impressive, and it goes to show how good that Performance Center is, because this is his first time wrestling. Like, he came straight from college. I believe he played football or something like that. And then he went straight into wrestling, and he's freaking improved so much in this last year. So yeah, I don't know if I see him in the main roster in the next 3 to 4 months, but I think probably within this year, like towards the end of the year or something, I could totally see him coming up and being that monster.
I said 3 to 4 months because of the way it looks like he's being booked, and he's being booked really fast in terms of the titles and stuff he's holding. And they already moved on from him with the North American. Mm-hmm. They already put the new, and he didn't drop the North American Championship a while ago. It's kind of recent, and now they throw the title, the heavyweight title. I think they're trying to fast track him. Yeah, I say 5. He is not on NXT longer than 5 months. I'm saying it would be mind blowing the fact that he would still be there. I just couldn't understand it, because I think he's main roster ready in terms of his ring work, in terms of the mic, which is still developing. I think he can actually go on to the main roster as we speak. I had to show some love. Some love to the man, Oba, the ruler.
Yeah,
Obafemi.
Ruler. Shout out to the ruler.
Yeah, man. But listen, we had a huge debut on Monday Night Raw. Penta Cero Miedo. Hell of a.
There you go. Your Spanish is improving.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was working on it. Had his debut on Raw. The pyro, The theme I think is trash. By the way, I told you
Yeah.
guys I'm not a. I thought the theme in AEW was actually better.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, for sure.
But the pyro, the fire, the look. I mean, Penta's always had a different look than any lucha, and he reminds me a little bit of like La Parca in a way. But man, had Chad Gable in that ring, and those two killed it. Those two really did their thing. Fellas, what did you think of Penta's debut on Monday Night Raw?
Thought it was a very good debut, and I expected nothing less. I went into Monday Night Raw this past Monday like they better knock this shit out the park.
Mhm.
Like Penta better be coming across like the talent that he is, which is he's one of the best in the world. And I've felt like that for at least a decade now. Like he's had some absolute bangers with just about everybody that you can name that's great in the world. You know,
Mhm.
the Kenny Omegas, the Will Ospreys,
Yeah.
the Kota
Even
Ibushi's.
even some of the women too.
Yeah, like
Intergender
Io
matches.
Sky,
Yeah.
yeah, Chelsea Green. If you date
Yeah.
back to the Lucha Underground days, I
Yeah.
thought it was very good. Chad Gable was the perfect opponent for him.
100%.
He took that destroyer. He sold that like a champ. That was like picture perfect. And you know, it was such a sweet moment of him having his family at ringside. Like that's a great moment. Like you made it. Like you made it to WWE Raw Netflix in front of a worldwide audience. Like that's fantastic. So you know, the question is, can they sustain that momentum? One thing's for certain. I think he is going to push a lot of merchandise.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the kids. You know, who
Yeah.
doesn't love face paint, especially face paint that has like, you know, skulls and skeleton and like evil looking shit. Like Penta is just, he's gonna be a draw.
Mhm.
Whether he's world champion or not, I mean, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I think it was an effective debut overall, and I couldn't be happier for him. I've been a fan for so many years, and this is great for him.
Yeah, man. I agree completely, man. Chad Gable was the perfect dance partner, man. Like he literally made him look like $1,000,000, and Chad Gable himself looked like $1,000,000 in that match, which is
Yeah.
incredible. And then, you know, like a lot of people are like thinking that Chad's in that position, like almost like the Dolph Ziggler position, where he's
Mm-hmm.
never gonna win that big title. But I think he'll get his comeuppance eventually because he is just so good that he's undeniable at this point.
Yeah.
Anything you throw at him, like a while back he was Shorty G, like that wasn't even that long ago. Like
I forgot about that.
yeah,
Shorty
and
G,
like
Jesus
the
Christ.
fact that he was able to cut, like, you know, come back from that and still be a really good wrestler. He had the whole shoosh thing. Like he's been a comedy wrestler. He's obviously a great grappler, Olympic like style grappler. So yeah, he's gonna be fine. But yeah, that was the perfect opponent for him. Penta was really impressive. Everything about him. I mean, it's so funny, like because he has the same presentation as AEW, same presentation that
Mhm.
he had in Impact, almost the same presentation as Lucha Underground. But it's just such a cool presentation that it looks good no matter where it is. And then you put the
It's true.
WWE sauce on it, you put the cameras that they have, the drones, all this cool shit that they could do, and it just makes him look like a superstar, like a bona fide superstar. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Like having his family there, his daughter crying, it was a beautiful moment. And as soon as he did that promo after the match, I was like, they have their star that they've been searching for so long to replace Rey Mysterio, because you know they've always had that.
Yeah.
They always tried it with like Alberto Del Rio and Sin Cara and Kalisto, all these different guys. They tried to get there, but nobody ever like was behind them as much as they could. But once he did that promo and he was shouting out Mexico and speaking in Spanish, but still speaking in pretty good English too, which
Yeah.
he never showed in AEW. And I'm like, what the hell? Why didn't they let this guy have a mic, bro? Like he wasn't bad. Like it was definitely like enough to get by. So I'm like, I don't know why they
Yeah.
never gave him the mic in AEW. But it was great, man. It was really great. I'm excited to see where they go with him. I don't know if I see him as a world champion, but I could definitely see him being an IC champion one day.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe they give him the ball and run, like, because like you said, the merch is gonna sell. The cool thing about him too is that not only does he have a lucha mask, he also, like you said, has face paint as well. So it's like he has like a really cool look. Like it's not something we've seen before when it comes to a luchador in WWE, at least. Like it's usually the Rey Mysterio style mask, and like even like a Sin Cara, like maybe it has like little horns or something, but it never really deviates from that like classic lucha mask. So having this person who has like he has like the little cape that comes out of the back of his mask and stuff, like it just looks like a completely different thing. It almost doesn't even look like a luchador at the end of the day. So I think it's really, like you said, I think the merch is gonna sell like crazy. The kids are gonna love it, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. What stories they're gonna give him, who they're gonna put him with, things like that. I'm excited to see bigger matchups between him and like Seth Rollins, for example, or like a Finn Balor. Like you just throw him out there with all these guys who could work really good and see where it goes, because I feel like every match is gonna be a banger. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I see a lot of things they could do with Penta, and eventually the heel turn, man, because Penta is that's a villainous character right there. Like if you book him well, that is a natural heel look. Like the guy just looks scary. So if you
100%.
were to have him breaking people's arms and just rolling with that, running with that, oh man, that you're gonna that's money. I really think it is money. It's like you said, he may not ever get to be WWE champion, Universal champion, World Heavyweight champion, but that's okay. Not everybody is destined for that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I think he's gonna have a good showing in the Royal Rumble match. But I got to give a shout out to Chad Gable, because that is what you call a company man.
Yeah.
He has so many freakishly similar parallels to Kurt Angle.
I know, it's crazy.
It is fucking crazy. He looks like Kurt Angle. Like he legit, like facially, in-ring mannerisms. Like you would think that this man is Kurt Angle's son. Like, forget all that Jason Jordan nonsense that they did years ago. Like Chad Gable should have been the one, because
100%.
that was legit believable. It would have been believable.
Yeah.
Because Chad Gable does so many things well, like the intensity, the comedic stuff, the in-ring work. I mean, he literally is like a modern day mini Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that he just doesn't have the same size in terms of height. But if they wanted to, they would be doing a lot more with Chad Gable. I'm telling you, because he's so good. So that's a quick shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
What's going on with your boy Corey Graves, man? Things are getting very interesting. So Corey Graves, he released a statement on, was it on X?
Yeah, it was on X.
Where he was talking his shit.
Yeah.
Basically, he's coming across as disgruntled because of the fact that he feels like it was an unfair demotion, if you will, because he got moved from Raw to back down to NXT. So he feels like it was an unfair demotion because, according to him, he wasn't famous enough to do his job. So the message that he put on social media was something along the lines of, imagine growing up as a fan and then finally living your dream and then getting it taken away when you have a career-ending injury, but then you are still living out the dream in a different capacity, and you're busting your ass. Because Corey Graves is really good as an announcer. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're told that you're not famous enough to do your job. And he was replaced by Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee is one of the lead announcers on Raw. And that didn't sit well with him. So he was also removed from this week's NXT broadcast. And now the big question is, what's going on with Corey Graves? Like, does he walk away from the company? Does he get released? What's your take? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, he just randomly decided to crash out on X, right? He woke up with violence and just said, I'm going to go in. I mean, it's funny because at first, it could, like, you looking at it, and in the world of wrestling, we always try to see the angles and see, is this a work? Is he
Yeah.
working us right now? And he is a former wrestler, so like maybe this is his way to get back in the ring. You think all of that, and then he had a follow-up tweet where he was like, "You'll hear my thoughts on NXT tonight," and then he ended up not being on NXT. So it's like, was this real? And he got kicked off the show, told him to go home. We don't know. We don't know if it's gonna be a maybe it started off as a shoot and it's turning into a work. We don't know, but it's just interesting, and I do feel for him because like you do bust your ass. He took us through some of the toughest times in WWE when shit was boring as hell. He tried his hardest to make it as interesting as possible on commentary. He's a great heel commentator, very good at healing it up. And I thought he was like finally in a great position where he was like part of the show. Like you almost like were looking or hearing for his thoughts, when you were watching the show. So it does suck, like to get taken away from someone who basically has no history. Pat McAfee, he is a sports broadcaster, but he has no history in this game. He just is more famous. So I totally get that. Like I feel like we've all been there in like a job where you're like busting your ass and someone else gets promoted over you, something like that. So I'm like, I feel it. It's not the best to go online and air it out like that, but sometimes, maybe at the back of his mind, he was like, yo, I'm trying to get fired. I'm trying to go to AEW. I'm trying to go to TNA. Maybe they'll let me do something over there, something. I don't know, but it definitely was a crash out. I want to see where it goes. It seems like he's still with the company for now. So we'll see what happens. And we also have the whole, like, Carmella of it all. His wife is still employed by the company, too. So I'm wondering, like, how that affects that. And, if that has anything to do with it. Maybe he's just like, yo, maybe they both don't want to be there anymore. You never know. So we'll see what happens.
True.
We'll see what happens. But man, that's just it's crazy. Like I was telling you guys off the podcast, but like it seems like every day there's a new thing that happens in wrestling. Like nothing is able to breathe because someone wants to start some controversy, and you never know if it's a shoot or a work. So it's like maybe this is his opportunity to be like, yo, I'm gonna get on in front of the eyes right now. He knows that this is gonna make people talk.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets him where he wants. Maybe he gets that position back. It's weird though, because like you said, he was on NXT. He did get demoted to NXT. He was on NXT last week, I believe, and it seemed fine. I don't know, but maybe in his eyes that is a demotion. But I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's like you're gonna crash out and lose your dream job. It might be worth it for you, but that's a tough one, man. And that's the thing. The WWE is a machine. They're gonna keep going with or without you. Like,
it's true.
You might think like, oh, I'm gonna make this big statement online. No one's gonna care, bro. And I saw it firsthand because I was looking at the tweet and I saw fans turn on him immediately, which was crazy. Immediately, you should be grateful. And I was like, yo, you guys have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
But like that's the fickle side of this business. Like, man, if you say something that people don't like, they could throw you out and keep it moving because WWE is that machine. Like they could find another Corey Graves. As sad as it is to say, they already have a Pat McAfee. They have Joe Tessitore. Like they have these two guys come from bigger places. ESPN, and I'm sure there's other people from ESPN calling and seeing if there's any opportunities. So just as simple as that, you could get replaced. So I don't know. I don't know if it was a smart move, Corey.
It may not have been a smart move. And it always baffles me when wrestlers are quick to rant or vent on social media because I mean, it really can backfire because first of all, you're going to receive some type of backlash from the fans.
Yeah.
Right. The fans are the people that are supporting you from day one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are not careful with your stream of consciousness, if you will, then fans are going to perceive it a certain way. And then you got to deal with your employers, management. I mean, look, you can say whatever you want outside of your work environment, but that shit will come back to haunt you. And that's like with any workplace, right? Yeah. Like I myself would never go on a rant shitting on, my school district because I'm a representation of where I work.
Exactly.
So, him doing that, you're airing out dirty laundry in a public forum, and sometimes it's a little uncalled for. I sympathize with him. I do, but I think I don't know. I have my thoughts on whether wrestlers should just go off on social media like that. I think sometimes people get a little too carried away when it comes to X and Instagram posts and all that. But that's just my opinion.
No.
Whether he leaves the company or not, that remains to be seen. But I would love to know what the hell is going on. But you hit on a good point. He's expendable. WWE is going to continue.
Sadly,
Remember,
yeah.
they're owned by TKO, for crying out loud. Like, they're probably like, all right, if you want to leave and you're unhappy, then leave.
Yeah.
We'll find your replacement.
That's what I'm
Go work
saying.
for TNA. Go work for MLW. Like I'm sure you'll get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
And
It's-
and that's that.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, it puts like a bad taste in any future employer. You know, like
True.
they see that you're willing to do that. Who's to say you're not going to do that in AEW or in a TNA, like you said? So I don't know, man. It's not the best strategy, but it all depends on what his goal was at the end of the day. Maybe he wants to leave the business entirely, and that's his way of being like, "Yo, screw this shit. I'm out. I made enough money." Which I get it. Hey, that's like the dream. You make enough money, you could crash out and just go be on your own somewhere. Hey, maybe that's what he
Yeah.
wants to do. But I don't know. I wish the best for him. Hopefully, he gets what he wants at the end of the day.
Yeah, I do wish him the best. I mean, we're saying it as if he doesn't work for the company anymore. But right. We wish him the best one way or another. If he stays with the company, we hope he remains happy. I guess, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we covered a lot on this episode. That pretty much wraps it up. We got exciting times ahead. There's Saturday night's main event coming up, and of course we got the Royal Rumble on February 1st live from Indianapolis. Our
Yes,
next
sir.
episode will be giving some predictions on who we think is going to win the men's Royal Rumble match as well as the women's Royal Rumble match, because those are some hot topics, and I can't wait to dive into those. Any final thoughts from you, Joel?
Nah, that's pretty much it. Shout out to Kenny Omega making his return on AEW this week.
Oh yeah.
Had a pretty good match with Brian Cage. Not too bad. I'm sure that we're gonna see a lot more from that, and him and Ospreay and all of that going on. So that's cool. But yeah, besides that, man, yeah, great week of wrestling, and we got a lot more to come. So yeah, stay tuned.
For sure. And once again, thank you to all the followers, especially on Instagram. We have reached the 500 threshold. So the next goal is 1,000. So we're going to continue pushing out more and more content. We show nothing but love. So we appreciate it. We love you all. And y'all be safe. And until next time, peace out, everybody.